Coming up on Look Today, we've got breaking news. The court date to determine whether there will be a hand count or not of all ballots with regards to the Saratoga Springs City Charter change has been canceled. I've got details. Plus, we have more on issues surrounding Warren County tourism. Got those details. And National Museum of Racing and Hall of Fame in Saratoga launched a new project. I've got those details. All ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm Jay Hood Jackson, this is Look Today. Well, in tonight's program I sit down with Claudia Bramer. She's Supervisor Glens Falls, Ward 3. And she's here to talk about a very important initiative that will ban plastic bag usage in Warren County. Plus, I also sit down with John Auntie Miller and Lucas Garrett. They are talented musicians, and they're here to talk about an upcoming concert that's happening at the Strand Theater in Hudson Falls. It's going to feature traditional Irish music. Plus, we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties, but first, these headline stories. And before I get to those, we've got breaking news. Gordon Boyd from the Coalition City Charter called and said that the court hearing scheduled for tomorrow morning has been postponed. And the court issued a statement. It said the court has asked counsel for both sides, and that would be Saratoga County being the other side, to submit memoranda of law by January 8, after which the court will consider when scheduling oral arguments. It's not over till it's over, and we'll keep you up to date on this as we get more information. All right, in our lead story, we've got continuing coverage of the issues surrounding Warren County tourism. Now, as we told you recently, hotels in Warren County are seeing a continued decline in occupancy rates. At the same time, the county has stated that revenue from tourism is up by 1.8%. Now, this footnote here, while that's true, inflation in the county is 2.5%. So leaders in the business community believe that tourism funding can be better utilized in marketing to help boost those numbers if they have more control. Well, we spoke to John Carr. He's a business owner in Lake George.
I think right now there's a lot of different models in how people are marketing and how they're using social media and different marketing avenues, and we're not up to speed on a lot of that stuff. Yeah, we're using Facebook and Instagram, but there's a lot more to it than just that. Clicking like doesn't mean a guest is coming to Lake George to spend the weekend with us in December. And what we're looking for, we need to change that model and start using more nimble and dynamic methods of marketing, like every other county in New York State, using a publicly funded private entity.
Well said, John. Okay, in other news, well, the National Museum of Racing and Hall of Fame in Saratoga held a press conference today. Well, the museum announced a new project called Full Patrol, a one-of-a-kind collection of live web cameras where people can view the birth of a baby horse. The live camera feeds will be available beginning December 19. We spoke to John Hendrickson. He's the president of the museum.
So it's an educational project, and this is what the Museum of Racing was set up for, is to educate and promote the sport as well, not just showcase trophies and paintings.
Well, that's a very cool idea, for sure. All right, switching from news to weather. Today saw a heat wave. We had the temperatures in the mid to high 30s. Let's see how the rest of the week is shaping up. For a more detailed look at our weather, let's head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast.
Thanks, Jesse. I'm meteorologist Clarence Ponser with your first look weather update here on Look TV. Let's take a look at the national forecast heading into tonight. We have a cold front boundary making its way through not only portions of the Mid-South and the Central Plains. This cold front stretches into parts of New England. That's going to impact our area. Low pressure out towards northern New England into parts of southeast Canada, impacting Quebec and eventually into the Atlantic, the Canadian and Atlantic Maritimes. We also have a secondary cold front making its way through portions of the upper Midwest and Great Lakes with high pressure in between. As we take a look at more regional forecasts, more in the 20s and 30s for low temperatures across our local area. Lower 30s will be the theme here. 30 in Fort Edward and Whitehall, 32 Greenwich towards Glens Falls. Could see some upper 20s for an overnight low, especially as you head towards Johnsburg and Pottersville. We'll see mainly some rain and snow showers isolated along that front. You'll see that less than half-inch accumulation, west wind at 10 miles per hour. Mid-30s will be the best we can do behind that front, mostly sunny skies. Wind chills as you walk out the door in the lower 20s with generally partly cloudy skies. Actual air temps about freezing. Extended forecast, we're in for another major chilly night. 9 degrees heading to Thursday morning with an afternoon high of 24, mostly sunny. 50% chance of snow on Friday before a little bit more warmer weather by Saturday, but that's going to feature an 8% chance of rain, maybe some freezing rain mixing in. Back in the mid-30s for highs by Christmas Eve with rain and snow chances at 30%. That was your weather update here on Look TV. I'm meteorologist Clarence Ponser. Now I send it back to you, Jesse.
Thanks very much, Clarence. It's getting cold out there. Back to the news. Well, constituents of the 21st Congressional District held a vigil all day today in protest of the GOP tax bill. By the time you see this broadcast, you probably know that they passed the bill in Congress today. Well, Congresswoman Elise Stefanik has announced that she voted against that bill. Well, despite this, demonstrators were still outside her office in Glens Falls. They're demanding that she speak out against the bill, maybe to influence others. Now, we were at the demonstration, and we spoke to one of the protesters, Joe Seaman.
And our message to her is, if you're really against this, why don't you speak out to your fellow Republicans? Tell them to vote no. Speak out. This is not just a bad bill. It's a massive ripoff, a massive scam on the American people, the people in the district, her constituents. Most of us are going to get our taxes raised, and they're going to cut Medicare, cut Medicaid, cut money from the things that we need because they're taking trillion-plus dollars, handing it to the very richest who don't need it, and causing that trillion-plus dollar deficit.
Democracy in action. Actually, I applaud Joe there. A lot of what he's saying is true, but I also applaud Congresswoman Stefanik for voting against this bill. Up next, I sit down with Claudia Bramer. She's supervisor, Glens Falls Ward 3. She's here to talk about a very important initiative that could ban the use of plastic bags in Warren County. I also sit down with John Auntie Miller and Lucas Garrett. They're talented musicians here to talk about an upcoming concert that's happening at the Strand Theater in Hudson Falls. It's going to feature traditional Irish music. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, how about join us for an interview? Then give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. That's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. I'm actually surprised we made it through the news. It was a holiday party today. Yes, a lot of laughter back there in the control room. A couple of highlights. Antoinette made the most delicious cheesecake. Thank you, Antoinette. Food at Ginny Ray's, Jesse at Ginny Ray's. That's on Dix Avenue there in Hudson Falls. Could not be better. Thank you, Jesse. You got to get over there at Ginny Ray's for, I like going over there for Sunday breakfast. Great spot for Sunday breakfast. We had a surprise appearance by Donna Frank, who's, as you may know, should know, is the host of our program, Her Look. It was just wonderful to see Donna. And in all, we just tried to do what you do best at a holiday party, get through all the awkward speeches, give out a couple of checks, and drink. So that's what we did today. One last one. I want to thank the National Museum of Racing and Hall of Fame in Saratoga. They reached out to us about this very unique program, the FOAL program there. And Brian, who's the head of marketing over there. So thank you, Brian, for reaching out to us. Okay, that's it. I'm going back in the control room. We're not done yet. Tonight on Look TV, Queensbury Town Board meeting. Don't forget, tune in tomorrow night for the stories that matter to you. Good night, everyone.